Welcome to the Dr. Felder Online One podcast. My name is Miranda Felder. I am the creator and host of Dr. Felder Online One. And I thank you guys for tuning in. I'm a big person in not telling other people's stories, so I will let my guest today introduce herself and why she's here. So tell the people who you are.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mandisa Brudey, CEO and founder of Straight Ace Kids Club. Most people know me as Principal Brudey right now. And I'm here to give you guys a little story.
All right, that's what I like to hear. People gonna think I'm crazy because I always say like some of my episodes are my favorite, but this particular episode is very special just because we've known each other a long time, and I've been with you throughout like a lot of your journey and a lot of your time. But I think this is the first time me and you are actually gonna be like sitting down, kind of recapping
about it.
Yeah, and like recapping your story for a while. So I know like we met in college, which we'll tell a little bit about that in a minute, but tell a little bit about like your teenage years and what happened there. Yeah.
Yeah, oh my God, my teenage years. When my mom watches this, she's going to want me to say.
We didn't even, I need Mama Cynthia because she knows. Yeah, she knows. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I was definitely what you would call a rebellious teen.
Yeah.
I grew up West Indian, so anybody who grew up West Indian, they know what that is like.
Yeah.
Very strict mom, very strict. Immigrant mom, first generation after an immigrant who came here to kind of give us a better life.
Yeah.
And I just fell into the American teenage life, I guess. But also always put like school first, my grades, those things. So I was a teen mom.
Okay. So what age did you get pregnant?
I got pregnant at the age of 15. Mm-hmm. And I had my daughter she's born in May. My birthday's in October. So I was 15 turning 16.
Okay. And during this time, like, was the father, was this like the love of your life? Did you feel like, because you know we be teenagers, you like, this is love of my life, I want to be with the rest of my life, this is it. So is that how you felt, or was it just like, okay, I got pregnant and now, this is what's happening?
I feel like yes and no.
Okay.
I think I've always been very accountable. So when I got pregnant, of course, growing up West Indian, my mom was like, absolutely not. You need to go to college. You're the first one who's going to go to college. Like, you have to abort. And I was like, no, like, I got myself into this problem. I'm not just going to abort the baby. Like, I think I rationalized it as like taking accountability. But her father, me and him were together. It was a lot going on.
Yeah.
But I was 15, he was 18. So my mom was not happy with that.
Yeah.
She was like, regular West Indian, I'm calling the police. He'd go to jail. That's it.
Right.
So it was, I think for him, it was like nerve wracking of like, what do I do? Because this mom is saying that like, if I'm with her daughter,
she's gonna call
the cops, and like, if you know my mother, you know.
I believe every word she say. Your mother can't say nothing. I believe every word that she says.
She was
Absolutely, yeah.
Serious. So, I didn't see him for a long time. I kind of like hid the pregnancy. My mom put me out, of course, like automatic. She was like, "You gotta go. You and your baby." And I went to live with my aunts and my cousins.
Okay.
And my aunt is my mom's older sister.
Yeah.
So like wasn't nothing that my mom could say to like
to kind of mess up that situation.
That up. Yeah. So my cousins really helped me. They became like my sisters through the whole pregnancy of just making sure that I was okay, that I ate, that I went to school. Whole time I was like wearing big clothes because I'm like hoping I don't see this man who is.
So he didn't even know.
Not for a long time.
So, but let me ask you, right? So you're 15, and like at 15, like I said, I remember too. Like we think we know everything, but at 15, like Cameron, like you're gonna be responsible for another human being. And I know you said you was big on taking accountability, but you weren't like scared, like scared out your mind. Like how this baby gonna eat?
Of course,
right.
I think at first when I found out I was pregnant, I didn't even like understand what that meant. Like if I really think back to it, I was still like going outside, still going out.
Yeah.
It was actually when I found out that it was a girl.
Okay.
That really, really, really changed me and like changed my mindset. I was like, no way. Like, no way I can birth a girl child and like still be outside, still kind of just be running the streets.
Yeah.
Like, she's a girl. Like, I have to make sure that I, act in a way that I would want another young woman to follow.
Yeah.
So once I found out that I was having a girl, that really, really, like, just changed my mindset around who I was and who I was going to be. I think, like, at at 15, I decided, like, I was going to be this type of woman.
Yeah.
And
That's what you did.
that's what I did.
So what happened when the father finds out? Like, now he finds out.
Girl. If y'all know my baby father.
What happened when he finds out?
Girl, so my aunt set me up, number one.
Okay.
So my aunt and him were really close.
Okay.
Really cool. And my aunt's like, this can't go on anymore. Like, they getting money there, and you're like here just struggling with this
Baby.
belly, and we gotta feed you. And one day I walked into her house, and he was belly out to here, and he was sitting right there.
Wow.
So it was like,
And what did he say? What did he say?
he was like, "You're really pregnant?"
Right.
And I was like, I just wanted to melt.
Melt right there. Because you like, my aunt just set me up. He's here. And now you got it. Now this is real accountability. Right? Wow. Okay.
I just wanted to melt.
So how did you mend things with you and your mom relationship? Because
I gotta think back. I think actually my aunt is the one who started to mend
shout
the
out to the
relationship.
aunt. She's in the middle of she's fixing
Yeah.
relationships. Shout out to your aunt.
Yeah, I think she like, as the older sister, she was
Yeah.
like, you have to take your child back.
Right.
Like, what are you doing? I'm like,
It's not the end of the world. Like,
right, like, you have to take your daughter
Yeah.
back. And I remember the first conversation I had with my mom when I went back was like, Mom, like, I know what you think. You think like my life is over. You think like I'm done. And I promised her, like, I'm going to graduate high school. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to graduate college. And I was like, I promise. Like, I don't know. That's all I got to give you right now is my word. But if you know anything about like your child, you know that means a lot. And I promised her. And I was like, the baby, if anything, is going to motivate me to do what I got to do. Like, just trust that I'm going to get it done. Okay. And I think she took me up on that promise, and she took me up all the way through college.
So let's not get to college yet. Yeah, let's not get there. You have your baby, your new mom. You're 15.
Oh my God!
What was your world like? Like, what was that like?
It was a lot.
Yeah.
I think even pre-baby, just in high school. I went to Catholic school at first, and of course, Catholic school is not having a pregnancy.
Yeah.
Like a pregnant student. And my mom also is like one of the ways, we reflect on things as we like parent, especially I'm a parent now, I reflect on so much. But I think one of the ways that she thought I had a sponsorship to my Catholic school. And all she had to buy was like my uniforms and my like my books for the semester. And I think like one of the ways she thought was a punishment that year when I became pregnant was like, oh, I'm not buying anything. Like, since you're grown, figure it out. So I think that the school, I didn't meet like a deadline or something that I had to purchase. And they took that as the way to just be like, yep, you're out of here because I was already pregnant. So I ended up going to public school. And just the amount of like negativity.
Yeah.
And like hate, like, and not even from students, like from adults. Like, oh, do this instead, or get a GED, or this. And I'm like, I'm cool. Like, I got this.
Right.
Like, one thing I never played about was my school.
That's right.
And I never played about my books. Like, my mom, that's one thing my mom really instilled in us, and I did not play about that. And I'm just like, I got this. And come to find out, I came to that school, I already had more credits than a lot of the kids there because I came from the Catholic school. And I was like on this like revised schedule. Like, I had them have to do so many things to accommodate me, where it was like everybody was like, oh no, just go get a GED. Like, it basically felt like your life is over. You're pregnant. Your life is over. Just
give up.
Right? And I'm like, no. I had this one teacher in AP English, this white guy. He talked, like, one day he kept me after class and he was like, don't listen to anything that anybody has to say. Like, you're already pregnant. Like, you're a brilliant girl. Like, you were going to figure this out. And he said, make sure every night you read to your baby and you instill education in your child the way that it was instilled in you, because he could tell that it was something that was important to me. And I finished high school, and I finished top of that class with a scholarship to college, with going to college with people who were not pregnant, not anything, no trials, no tribulations, and they were not going to college.
Right.
So, I think that was like step one for my mom of like, okay,
she gonna do it.
The girl is gonna do it. Yeah.
Right. We're gonna give mama a sense of, maybe I should have had her up here, because I know she got a side too, but we get yours. So college, you come to college, right? And that's where we met. And it's so weird because you were like a year younger than me, but so many people felt like, and I don't know what it was, but they were like, no, y'all shouldn't be friends. Y'all shouldn't talk. Like and I was just like, I don't even know her. Like, you know what I mean? I had been there for a year already, and you kind of into it. But people felt like automatically, I don't know if it's like a girl thing, a mean girl thing and stuff like that. But automatically people felt like we shouldn't be friends. And it was so weird because you live right in the Bronx. I'm from Brooklyn. We just like never really crossed paths being outside. So you get to college, you have this baby, and the baby's where? How did you navigate through school with like having a new baby?
Yeah, so Manhattanville was actually like perfect.
Yeah.
Because of the location and the how easy it was to get to the city from the Metro North. So my mom basically said, like, because I got this we was on that scholarship, it covered room and board. She was like, I want you to like go to school, like I want you to go to college. So she was like, in the weekdays you'll go, on the weekends you have to come down, to be a mom. So she was like, go to school. She was like, the baby is, at that time Bella was 2.
Yeah.
She's like, she's not gonna remember like
you being gone
for a couple of years. Like by the time you graduate, she'll be going into kindergarten. Like that's when she's gonna need you to kind of be around.
Come on, Mama Sin. I love that.
Oh, but she didn't play. I had to go home on them weekends.
Friday, you ain't way home? Mandisa want to go to the party. You ain't way home? I'm like, Mandisa, you got to go home for your baby. No, but like, it's not a lot of, I want to like just congratulate her because, I have a sensitive spot for a teenage mom just because I was raised with my mom was a teenage mom when she had me, and she had me and my brother by 18. Like, and I think that sometimes people count them out, right? Or even like her.
I think all the time.
Yeah, like they count them out, like, oh, she having a baby, that's it. Or not only that, like my mom, she finished high school, but she kind of like, her mom was like, I'm a sacrifice so that you can have a great life. Like, and that's why I feel like I owe her so much. But yeah, I credit single mother because even now at my big age, I'll be like, I don't know. I tell you all the time, I'll be like, I don't know if I could be a mother because it's not an easy thing to do. And it's not an easy thing to do when you're doing it by yourself. Like, and I've seen you do it by yourself. Like, it's really not easy. So, but yeah, you was able to kind of experience college. So like, what was the experience like, even though you were there during the weekdays? Like, what was the experience like?
Yeah, I think I had like a normal, as much as a normal college experience that I could have had. Like,
yeah.
I think I also linked with people and found friends who were like accommodating to the fact that I was a mom.
Yeah.
So nobody ever made me feel like, oh, like you can't be like, oh, you can't go out. Like, oh no, like it was not like, it's times where we taking a test and the baby, like, you got the baby,
yeah.
Here, like everybody's doing what they have to do. So I found like another village at college with you guys, with friends, like who were not judgmental.
Yeah.
At the fact that I already had this baby at all. I think at first people couldn't even believe it. Like they didn't even believe it till they actually saw
because you came on campus and you came on campus very much snatch your body. I was like, and people, and I'm not gonna lie, I remember people like, yeah, she has a baby, and I was like, she don't look like she got no baby because you came snatch. You was like I said, you was
skinny.
You was skinny. You was still living your life like a college student. You was doing everything. I seen you. You was like humbly like into your books. Like I seen you focus like. And like we was in, like you said, we were in the same like scholarship program. So I never saw mom until, I'm not gonna lie, until I saw your baby. And I was like, no, she's a mom. Like, and I was like, it's some people who could barely navigate through college with no kids. So to be a mother, a student, and you're a top student, right? Like you're performing well, it's not easy. Like that's real tough.
Not easy. And then I went and did it again. Something's wrong.
Wait a minute. Why you say it like that? Because I wanted to introduce that a little better. And you like, I just went and get. Go ahead. So all right. So then you have your second pregnancy. And what year was that?
Was that junior year?
Yeah. Okay.
Junior year, pregnant.
So at this, I want to be clear, like I said, because I don't want to, take away from that. At this point, you and the first baby father, you guys feel like you guys are finished. You're not going to be together, and that's that.
Yeah, no, he was locked up.
Okay.
It was like regular, like hood story, like kind of just like in and out. and he was locked up. We were kind of like, yeah, this is not gonna work.
Yeah.
We're not gonna be together. We have a child together. That's it. That's that.
Okay.
And I met Ava's dad.
Okay. So then you meet your second child's father, and then you in school. You done navigated. Your mother got the first kid, right? You going back. You being a mom on the weekend. Now you in school. You navigating. Boom, have a kid. Now you pregnant again. So what's going through your body this time now?
I don't understand what's wrong with me.
Wait, is your mom mad during this time though? Like, is she upset?
I don't really remember if she was upset. I think everyone loved Scrappy so bad that it was like hard to even be upset. Like,
yeah, okay.
I don't remember her being upset, but I know she was like, yeah, the first arrangement that we had, it was not gonna work this
no
time.
More, right.
So I had to come off of campus.
Okay.
So I was commuting every day, like from the Bronx to school on the days I had class. I still had my room though, which was good because our scholarship covered it. So I was able to like take naps in the middle of class and those things. I think you guys saw Ava a lot because my mom was just like, yeah, you did this to yourself again. So now you kind of have to figure it out. And I'm a girl who's going to figure it out. So,
but I always say to people, I remember Ava, you and like Monica, so you and Monica, them babies was at the school.
Absolutely.
Like I remember Monica texted me one day and was like, can you come get the baby? I got to take a test. And literally pushed the baby out the back of the classroom. And like, them babies was like Enville babies. Like they were there.
Absolutely.
Wow. Yeah.
Because I had to finish.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
I had to finish and I had this baby. So Ava is very much an Enville baby. I remember a psychology test. We rotated out.
Yes.
Like everybody took their tests in an increment and we passed her around.
And the classmate, I remember the classmate, then you had that test. The classmates was taking it in the whole way. I'm like, Mandisa.
Yeah, I need to take this final.
And this is how we're going to do it.
How we're going to do it.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So do you felt like your second situation, like with your second child's father, do you feel like that was like a better situation for you? Okay.
Yeah, I think definitely. And I think like, yeah, we're saying like Ava was at the school and stuff, but it's because he was working.
Mm-hmm.
It's like our schedules just didn't align for me to kind of like be in school. So I had to, take her on
and sacrifice.
Some days and sacrifice so that he could work, he can get money, and then I can be at school.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. But then you actually graduate.
Yeah.
You graduate. So you finish, you got 2 kids, graduate. How was it? Yeah, that's major. How was it to beat the odds of being like a teenage mom, not only finishing high school, but finishing colleges with your 2 girls there? Like, how was that for you?
I think that was a moment. Like, that was a big moment for me. I look at those pictures often just to have both of them there. And it wasn't easy. And I think the other thing is like I finished on time.
You did.
I didn't. It wasn't an extra year. It wasn't an extra semester. I finished on time. Like walked with my class. And my kids were in the car.
And I think for me, what people don't understand too is like I remember you coming to the class belly and all. Like you were a girl that gave birth. Like literally gave birth to your kid, and then when like it was class time, you was there. Like I'm like, girl, you just had a baby.
Yeah. So I'm actually high risk when I'm pregnant. I found that out after Bella, and I got induced, so I had to get induced for number 2 and number 3. But I scheduled Ava's induction so that it happened the Sunday of spring break, and then I had the week off basically, and then the next week, like boobs leaking, I was back at school because they wouldn't give me they wouldn't give me a break, and it was like, all right, I guess like I gotta do it.
Yeah, wow. Okay, so you graduate, you got 2 girls, now you beat the odds, you got your degrees. So what do you decide that you want to do? Like, do you know what you really want to do at this time? Or like, she's like, no. What's happening at this time for you?
No. If you remember, we were at the middle school.
This is why I can't have no conversation. Okay, we was at
my mother called them Bubba jobs. It's like the jobs that we just had.
We just had
them.
Yeah, we were at a middle school, and then they had the nerve to like make us like assistant directors. They gave us all of these. No. We had like serious titles, and I'm like, and then you get
18 years old,
18 years old, and then you get there though, and it's like nothing. Like you just like.
We were doing nothing.
Nothing. We wasn't making no real money. We had nothing. Like,
wasn't directing
Anything. Oh my God.
So we were at the middle school, and I think that was my first like exposure with like kids and like running a class, and I'm like, oh, I kind of like this. But I wanted to do social work. I graduated with a degree in psychology, so I was like, I want to go. I really wanted to go into social work. That's what I thought, and I applied for. I cannot remember the name of the organization right now. It was a social work position, and I got it. It's like Humans of something of New York. And at the same time, I applied for a teaching position at Success. And I got it. I got them both. So now it was like I had to make this choice of what to do.
Yeah.
And one of my older friends, she was like, go with the teaching position. She's like, you already have 2 kids. That will make your schedule. She's like, you already been through having to like struggle with them, kind of taking them to school with you and all of that kind of stuff. This will make, and Bella was going into kinder, this will make your schedule kind of align a little bit more with theirs. Like when they're off, you'll be off. When they're in school, you'll be in school. You know, you just have to work out like drop off and pick up.
Yeah.
So I literally took my first, like I tell people, I became an educator on accident.
Yeah.
I literally took my first teaching job because the schedule would align with my kids.
My kids. And then what was that experience? Like, was it good at Success? Did you enjoy it?
And then I ended up being really good at it.
Yeah.
Really good at it. I met she's my son's godmother now, but she was my vice principal when I got to Success. And when I tell you, I knew a lot of like Black women who I considered like strong, who I considered like women that I look up to, but she was a mom. She was a mom of 2. She was like, when I tell you, killing it as a VP. And she was just emulated like boss. Like,
Yeah.
she's in there, she's doing her thing. And my principal sent me to speak to her the very first day that I got there, because it was like, I was like, you know, I have drop off with my daughter. And she said to me, she was like, it sound like you need to get your stuff together. Like your kid cannot be an excuse for why you gotta be late or why you gotta be. And it was the first time that like in a loving way that somebody had like held me to that bar of like, nope.
And you could be better.
You just gotta figure it out. And I figured it out, and I ended up falling in love with teaching. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I love this. I love these kids. I taught kindergarten. Just like seeing their growth and seeing like how they start, as they come in really knowing nothing. Like very few kindergartners come in and know things.
Yeah.
Because some of them haven't even been to pre-K, all of that kind of stuff. And to see how they grow, like by the end of the year, it's just like, it's a reward that you can't explain, like unless you've ever like done it. And to know that you're like responsible for their little minds, like you're responsible for if they learn how to read, if they learn how to write, if they learn how to do math. It was like a joy that I had like never felt before. And then their little personalities, like they got a lot. They got a lot of personalities.
Was it overwhelming to kind of deal? Because this is how I think, but I've never been like a teacher, especially with little kids. Was it overwhelming to like have kids, like be with other people's kids all day and then still have to go home to your own too?
I think not as a teacher.
Okay.
I think not until I became an administrator was it overwhelming.
Yeah. Okay. So how did you become administrator? How do you become principal? What happened?
So I was at Success, I think, for 4 years. I don't have any horror stories. Like, I'm not one of the people on the page. I loved it there. I think they provide like a lot of structure for kids. And they have like the best test results in the state. Like my kids went there up until like we transitioned to Jersey. But I did not agree with like some of their school culture policies.
Okay.
So I had this one little boy, and he's really the reason why I was like, yeah, I know like this doesn't align with my values. He was so smart. When I tell you, like a brilliant little boy. And I think that was also a reason of like why his behavior was not where it needed to be, because at times he was probably bored.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people don't understand boys, so they just think like they're being rambunctious, they're being defiant, they're not listening, when it's like, no, actually maybe he's just bored. And the year that I transitioned, they wanted to They basically wanted me to like talk to the mom. Me and the mom had a really good relationship, because they were considering holding him over. And I'm like, he just went through the whole year with this behavior, right? He's passing every test, so it doesn't matter if he's suspended, whatever. He's coming back. He's passing every test, and now we're gonna say, let's let him repeat the grade again, when this is this could be a symptom of like he's gonna be even worse next year, right? So it was just like little things like that I really didn't agree with. And then I was the teacher. I had like, I'm doing kids' hair. I got like there's little snacks in my closet for them. Because success is so strict, there's a lot like they're strict on time, they're strict on all of that stuff. So if a kid comes in kind of late and they didn't get to eat or whatever the case is, you want to have something for them. And I don't remember how I think my friend sent me this posting for this principal in residence position at the organization that I'm at now. And when I went to look up the organization, they were connected with like a community, program who like helped kids and helped families if they needed housing, if they needed food, made sure that like kids were ready outside of school to be ready for school in the morning.
And that's important because if I didn't eat, I can't come there and learn nothing. Or if mom and dad was fighting the night before, I can't learn nothing. Or if mom is at work all night and I'm home watching my siblings, because back during this time we could be home watching our siblings. That's the truth. And I had to make my siblings how you expecting me to be focused? You know what I mean? Yep. So I think that's a good thing. It's not a lot of city schools that have that. So that's a good thing.
And they were like, their mission was around like providing these wraparound services to basically like break down any barrier that was in a child or family's way, so that they could succeed in school.
Yeah.
So I think I was like, oh, like at that point, all I had known was success. So it was like, oh, there are actually places out here who are doing the things that I'm thinking about, and I'm kind of like doing on a very like micro version in my classroom.
Right.
There are organizations who believe in doing this as a school. And their mission really spoke to me. So I applied for that principal in residence position, and I got it.
And you got it. It seems like throughout your life, like it's just like you keep breaking barriers, keep making it happen. And you are the principal now. So how do you like being the principal? I know it's a stressful job, but I always say like, I need you to be somewhere because my kids need to go to school where you at. I don't know where that's going to be, but you got to make sure my kids get what they need, just because I feel like you are a person who you advocate for our Black and brown kids. And not a lot of people do that. I've been in the school system and it's just like, I've seen people, they don't care about our kids. They don't care. And it's tough. Like I watch mothers and it's tough, right? I watch mothers who don't know and they'll throw these things at them and it's just like, whatever. And they really don't care about them. That's why, my sister, she be on line one. Hold on, let me call my sister. My sister know. Wait, you saying he need this? Wait, let me ask my sister. No, because our population, we don't know. So how is it being like a Black principal for like Black and brown kids?
I think that's what I enjoy the most. Yeah. Like when people ask me what do I enjoy the most, and it's not just a Black principal, right? My school is like 95% Black. So my teachers are Black. My entire admin team is Black. The CEO of our network is also, he's a Black man.
Wow.
So it's bigger than me. It's like kids, I'm with Black and brown kids every day who see Black and brown excellence.
Yeah.
Like they see women in leadership. They see male Black teachers who are coming in professional and showing them what they should look like as young men. And that's actually like what I enjoy about it the most is being able to give that hope and that vision to kids, because a lot of these high performing charters, the principal is white. Most of the teachers are white, straight out of college, and they're telling let me help these Black and brown babies get to excellence. That's a different experience than when those people also look like you, they sound like you, they do your TikTok dances, they know the lingo, they know they can relate to you on a different level. They can relate to having to watch their little brother and sister before school, or having to make breakfast, or having to drop off before they get to school. Whereas when you're in a community that's predominantly white, they can empathize with that. right? They can feel bad about it, but
Right.
they could never really truly understand
It.
like how it's affecting you. So then I feel like it can never really truly be fixed, right? Because you don't really understand this. You're trying to like save us from something, and that's where like that savior complex comes in. But you don't really understand
What I'm going through.
what I'm going through or what I need to be out of this situation.
And I think one thing I love about you too is you not only love your kids, you love your staff. Like I see you love on them. Like I have mental, like, you know, you have your mental health week and they come in and you treat them good and you love on them. And I think sometimes people don't understand how hard it is to help other people kids. And two, you have kids at home, like, but you love on your staff and you let them know that you appreciate it in their job and what they do, because teachers don't get paid as much as they should. I'm not even gonna sit here in front for you. They don't. But I love the fact that as an administrator, you love on your staff. Like I see you try to show them like your appreciation and how much you love and appreciate them being there. And I think that's major that a lot of other schools also don't provide.
Yeah. So to all my principals, administrators, school districts out
Look right
there,
there and say that right there.
school positive school culture cannot happen without positive staff culture, right? Like I truly believe that. Like if your staff is not happy, if the adults in your building are not well,
Yeah.
then the kids will not be well.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came to the school that I'm at now, I was the principal in residence for the first year I came. So I was under the principal at that time. And when I took over the school, I told them like, there's going to be some turnaround, because all the adults here, I don't agree with them. I don't believe in them. And I'm not going to pour into adults that I don't believe in. And my staff this year, returned, I think we had like almost like 90% retention rate, which in this current like economy and education is crazy.
Right.
Like almost every single one of my teachers returned. And when you ask them why, it will be because of that school culture.
Wow.
Like before, like, of course we're there for the kids, of course, like that's a given, but the school culture that they are provided, like I say all the time, they're spoiled.
Yeah.
Like
but no, you want to go, you got to think about it. You there most of the time. You're at work more time than you is at home.
Mm-hmm.
I want to feel good about walking into an environment I'm going to go in. If I walk in and I'm just like,
and I want to feel supported. And if I do walk in and I feel like that, I want to know that somebody's going to say like, hey, are you okay?
Okay, yeah.
Like
some jobs don't even care. Just go do your job. We don't even care. So you got all this bomb career stuff going on. And then you call me again and what's going on?
what's going on, friend? Where we going?
You pregnant now again with baby 3? No. You're not going to do that, because I think for me, and I think when me and you had this conversation, I think this was a little different because I can't remember all the conversation from Brandon, but I do remember you saying, you was like, B, what if this is my boy? I remember that. And I don't know why, but something in my heart was just like, I feel like this is your boy. Like
That's what all of y'all say. Y'all tricked me into this pregnancy.
No, I didn't trick you. I really, like, when you called me and you said that, when you said that to me, and I tell people this all the time when I tell you a story, I was like, yo, I really felt in my heart that you were pregnant with a boy. I felt that. So this pregnancy, and you were a little older, you had your stuff going on. And like you and baby father number one reconnected, right? That's why I feel like this was your love of your life. But y'all reconnect and y'all have a baby. So how was this pregnancy different than the other two? Like in terms of like mindset?
Yeah, I think in terms of mindset, I was like older. Mm-hmm. I had experienced so much more. So this was really like the girls are gonna see this. Like a golden, like it was as far as being pregnant, like I was fine. I had been pregnant twice. Yeah. I knew what to do.
Yeah.
I had a great doctor. Make sure you get a black OBGYN. Don't go any other color but black if you're a black woman. But she had delivered me safely with Ava, and I knew like she would get me through safely with AJ.
Right.
And I felt good. I think I was like, this is the boy. Yeah, I know it.
Yeah, and it was one son. It was. I was like, I really believe that. And so like you and baby father number one are back together. Y'all have your boy, and now it's a different time because your daughter now is at what age when you have AJ?
How old is he now? How old is she now? She's 11, 12.
Okay, so she's like 12.
Yeah, maybe 11.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you and her father are back together. You're having a new baby. You got your middle child too, because, you know, it didn't work out, but you got your middle child, and now y'all all just like a family, right? So y'all all together, and things are really good. And I think during that time, I was just like, wow, she's living a dream life. She's living a dream life. And you know, it was some conflict between you and the baby father.
Yeah, anybody who know him know it's always conflict.
It's conflict, but I really believe like that was like, I think y'all, what a lot of people don't get the chance to do, y'all navigated through time together. He saw you as a kid, and then kind of he was able to see you during like your adulthood. And I think a lot of people don't get to experience that. We argue with people and we don't know, like, you know, life is short. Things happen. And it's like, you drive me crazy, but I love you. And that's what I think with you two, you guys genuinely loved each other. Like, that's one thing I can say. I don't know the other in between, which I genuinely loved each other.
Absolutely.
And then I know tragedy happened. So tell us a little bit about like the tragic situation that you and your family are still going through.
Yeah, so like you said, we get back together. We move, all of these things, and then, you know, we conflict. There's always conflict between us, but it's conflict and it's love. Like, so it's just, I think, like, thinking back on it, it's like, to me, the love outweighed the conflict, and I wish that got shown more. But people love messiness. They love conflict. They love drama. So drama is always going to get more energy than like anything positive. Yeah, and then I'm actually at a staff event. It was our last event. It was prom, and we now have never had prom again because I can't handle it. And me and him was texting back and forth. He was like, "Oh, you're out," like, you know, like he must have seen me on Instagram or something. So the prom ends, and my staff is like, "Oh, let's continue. Let's like go out for drinks." And this weird number keeps calling me, and I'm like, "Oh my God," he's like calling me. He's losing it, like, cause I'm out. I finally answer, and like the person is like, "Hey, like, do you know him?" Like saying, and I'm like, "What?" Like, I keep hanging up on this caller. Like, I'm like, this is outrageous. So then the final time I answer, it's now the person like names himself. He's like, "Oh, it's Sergeant such and such," and I'm trying to identify a body. I'm like, what? So I like step out of the little like spot that we're in. I'm like I'm still kind of hot because I'm still like, is this Tim like playing on my phone? Like, is he taking it this far?
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's like, "Oh, would you be able to identify him over the phone?" So I'm like, why would I need to identify him over the phone? He could identify himself.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, they're like, oh, there's been an accident, like a bike accident." I'm like, huh? Like, now I'm all sorts of confused. Like, there's been a bike accident. Can you identify him? I'm like, what? So now I'm like, this gotta be something. So I'm like, oh, he has a 213 on his neck. So they're like, "Oh, I think you and the family need to get to the hospital immediately." So now I start bugging because now it's like, what? I'm like, is he alive? The officer was so rude, so nasty. Like, "Oh, I can't tell if I'm like, you're a police officer. Like, how can't you tell if...
And you called me.
You called me if somebody is alive. And he's like, "I just think you and your family need to get to the hospital." So at this time, like, me and Tim is in so much conflict. Like, I done cursed out the mother, cursed out the sister. I don't talk to
you done cursed everybody out.
Done cursed everybody out. But I'm like, I gotta call somebody because
this is serious.
This is serious. So I called his mom, and I'm calling her on my way down. I made it from Jersey down here maybe in 2 minutes. Like, I
gotta get there.
I was like, yeah, I gotta get there. I called the mom, and I'm like, something is wrong. I don't know what. They're not saying. They saying meet at the hospital. So of course she, like, a lot of people who know us know this, but a lot of people don't know that Timothy is a twin, and she lost his twin, and I guess like for her it was the same kind of phone call like over again. So she starts crying like immediately, like breaks down. And I'm like, we don't even know what's happened. Like, let's just get to the hospital. And when we got there, they said he was gone.
Yeah, that's tough. This was another just like tough. And I always say to myself, you know, we big believers in God. I say, God, I don't understand why bad things happen to good people. And when I say that, I mean, like, to you, like, I feel like you kept getting punched. Like, you keep getting punched. You keep getting punched. You keep keeping punched. And I tell people all the time, I be like, nah, Mandisa is my strong friend. Like, I'm my strong friend to a lot of people, but I feel like you are my strong friend. So going through this tragedy, y'all have 2 kids together. You know, you're a mom of 3, and your son is small.
1, not just turned 1.
Right. So he's small. So how do you go home and like explain that to your children? I think, and now Bella understands. How do you go home and explain that to them?
I think that was like one of the hardest things I've ever had to do.
Yeah.
Kind of like break that to her. And it's like I tried to like clean myself up before, because at that point I had stayed we was at the hospital. We stayed there until like they confirmed guy's mom home. I stayed at his mom's house that night, and I just like stayed and like laid in his bed, like just like in disbelief that was actually happening.
Yeah.
And then in the morning I was like, you know, I gotta go home and tell and Bella, you know, she understands. She's
Bella,
oldest.
I know you get upset, but Bella is you. Bella is very no, she's you. Like, I look at her and I see you. Like, she's like just so smart, so advanced. She got so much potential. Like, she's another one who's gonna be like really, really great. Like, she's gonna be great in life. And I say that respectfully, not only as you, my friend, but just as like a mom. Like, I see her and I'm like, yo, Bella is so smart. She has so much going on. So I can imagine.
Yeah, and she knew right away something was wrong with me.
Yeah.
She was like, "What, Mom? What's the matter?" And I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? What's the matter?" And she was asleep, and like she jumped. She's like, "Mom, what's going on?" Like, she knew right away something was wrong.
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Yeah, and I couldn't even get the words out, and she was just like putting it together in her head, and I was like, "It was an accident," and
This is why
she just like broke down. I think like Bella is really like you rarely see Bella cry. Like, she is very like strong-minded, strong-willed, and that day like I saw like little Bella, like 2 years old.
Yeah. Oh God.
Oh my gosh, I wasn't gonna cry.
No, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. We here. We good. No, this is yeah.
So then immediately she springs, like, she is so me. It's like, it's so funny. She springs into action. She's like, "Mom, what are we doing? Like, we got to get to my grandma's house." Like, she was ready. Like, Bella organized, like, the candle lighting. She was out there, like,
With us,
organizing candles. She was out there, like, at Staples, printing. Like, she went straight into, like, that mode that I know so well of, like, I'm just going to try to, like, orchestrate the situation because it's already out of my control. So I'm going to try to control what I can. And I've seen her like go into that
but
mode.
that's really you and what you instilled in her.
And it was so scary.
Yeah, because I remember even being like at the funeral, and Bella was so mature.
Yeah, she was so scary because when you go into that mode, you don't grieve.
Yeah.
So you don't. You turn into the strong person.
Yeah.
So you don't ever like actually grieve. And it was like she navigated a lot with that funeral, like and the passing, like she did a lot, and it was just like she was there, and I'm like, look at this little girl.
What was your grieving process like that? Because I know Bella lost her father, but you also lost. This is somebody, like I said again, you knew since you were a kid. What was your grieving process like?
I think I'm like still in the process, honestly. You know, the stages of grief, we learned all of that. We, you know, as an educator.
But child, you go through that, and I said
you don't know.
Yeah.
Like, you're going through it, and you're just like, huh? I think to go back to something that you said, I am a lot of people's strong friend. And this was the first death that was like so close to me. So I lost my brother when we were in college. But my mom, when my mom immigrated up here, she took the girls, and the boys stayed in Dominica. So these are like, I know my brothers through, at the time, like, you know, through talking on the phone, video chat, all of that kind of stuff. So I was really grieving then because my mom was so sad.
Right.
And it hurt me to see my mom that sad. But this was the first death that really, like, this was somebody who I was with since I was 14 years old. And I couldn't be the strong friend.
Yeah.
Like, I could not be the strong friend. And that in itself caused so much mayhem in my life. Like, people were expecting me to, and like personal, professionally, like I'm also people's principal. This happened in June. So it happened right before graduation. I wasn't able to do graduation. And people were just like expecting me to just like bounce back and like, I don't know what they were expecting, but I didn't deliver on whatever it was. And I could tell I didn't deliver because of how like relationships started to become strained. And it was like, no, I can't check on you. No, actually, I don't care what you're going through. Like, I can't help you right now because I don't even know how to help myself.
Yeah.
It was summer. It was like, I still need to provide a summer. Now I have 3 kids, right? I still need to provide a summer experience for these children. My daughter was, Bella was graduating. So she had just like invited her dad to her graduation. Like, he had literally, they seen him that week. Like, he had come to pick up the graduation tickets. And then it was like 2 days later that this happened. So it was just like, I got a lot to think about. Like, I cannot be anybody's strong friend right now. And that caused problems
with people.
It caused a lot of issues.
Yeah. You make it tough for me. No, you make it tough for me just because, like, you know, I love you and your kids. And I think, so I do want to say this because I know, like, me and you've had conversations. I text you and checked on you, cool. I've been to candlelight, came to the funeral, whatever. But I think sometimes for me, I don't know what to say to you because there's nothing I can say to you to bring him back. It's nothing that I can say to you. And even sometimes, like, you know, we'll mention him sometime, but like even a conversation of speaking to him, I tiptoe around because I know it's close to your heart. So it's other women who lost people. I know other women who lost people for different reasons. What kind of advice would you give them who are also moms? Like, what kind of advice would you give them during this grief stage since you've been through it? I feel like I can't speak on that because I haven't been through it. So what kind of advice would you give those women who are struggling with losing a partner and trying to navigate through life still with their children?
Yeah, I think if I had to look back on it, it's like I would advise women to first like heal yourself. So I think we start with our kids naturally. We start with those around us, but first like really focus on like what do you need?
Yeah.
Because again, like if you are not well, you cannot take care of anybody else. Like that's like that old age, the plane thing. Like secure your mask before securing
your children,
right?
Yeah.
And it's like we look at that like that's crazy. Like, oh no, I would always secure my mask my kids first. But if you're securing their mask and then whatever you pass out, then what? Nobody secured their mask now. Like, right? Like there's a reason why it's worded that way. And that is something that I wish that I did when Tim actually passed, was like focused on like what I needed. I don't think I actually figured out what I needed until maybe like a year in. Like it was like coming up to his 1 year anniversary, where it's like, yeah, actually I don't need to be the strong friend. I don't want to be.
Yeah.
I don't want to be.
I don't
want to be the person. And I think I heard you say this on a podcast you was on. It was like, I don't want to be.
I don't want to be.
I don't care to be anymore.
I don't want to be a strong friend, but I want to be a good friend.
I want to be a good friend.
Yeah,
I don't want to be the strong friend. I don't want to be no, I just want to be a good friend. And if your definition of good friend, because the strong friend actually just gets like over abused. Like, we don't want to talk about that part, but
we have to.
Like, everybody can call you for everything. Everybody can depend on you for everything.
Nobody asks you how you doing.
I don't want to be that. Please ask. I want to be a soft, how we want soft girl with the relationship. I want to be a soft friend, whatever that means. Like, I don't want to be it. And I think I didn't come to that realization until almost a year in. And I know like you're big on mental health, but it was like my mental health was not okay because I'm still trying to navigate all of these things. I'm still trying to figure out like, oh, who am I not helping? Who am I not? And I'm like, who's helping me? And like Monica, we know Monica.
She gonna say you talking about her, not me.
No, but she really did like help me get through this process because Monica don't care to be nobody's strong friend.
Monica don't care.
She don't care. And that's something that I really admire about her. Like, she will assess a situation and see how it's going to benefit her and work for her before she agrees to it, before she does it. And even on the day of, if something is even of the slightest inconvenience to her, goodbye.
Yeah.
And you know, and over the years, I've watched that save her a lot of hurt, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of friction and tension between, because she'll just say no. Like that meme where it's like, no, like they should put her there because.
And she'll say no, and like it doesn't bother her at all.
It doesn't bother her. And Brenda, like when I say no, I'm like
devastated.
Oh my God, I couldn't do this for somebody. And she's like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
She's like, practice. Like, no. And like, and then coupled with that, she's so positive.
Yeah.
So she rarely like has a bad day or like, because she's just always like, I'm going to make the best out of
what's happening. Monica's one person that lives her life. She lives it. Like her life is just like, I'm living it. Like this happened. Okay, but girl, I'm still going to do this because this going to make me happy. Yeah.
And I started to admire that because it was like, I am crazy. Like, I'm literally like everybody's go-to person. I'm like, yeah, call, like, give me you're tired, you're poor, you're hungry. Like, I'm the Statue of Liberty. Like, no. And she was like, you have to stop. And just started instilling like a lot of like mindfulness techniques. Like, just like, what do you do for yourself? Like, how do you recenter yourself? Like, what do you actually do to just take a moment out of your day and
get back to you?
And when I started thinking about that, I'm like, you know what? I need to get like closer to the word.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to, because I know the stereotypes on therapy and all of that stuff. I haven't found a therapist yet that I am that like we click. They say it's like a marriage. It's like
I didn't say nothing about therapy. This is the things my friends get around me and they scared to say certain words like therapy, psychologist. Girl, I said nothing.
Everybody's like, oh, you gotta go to therapy. Blah 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 blah.
And let me tell you something. I said this too. I've been saying this for my past episodes, but I think grief is real. Like I said, I've experienced grief, and I took a low blow like when my aunt passed, and I was like you, like the first person that was really close to me, and it was like I just seen them and then she died, and that blew me away. I think grief therapy is important and it works just because to have somebody neutral. I think especially in your case, it's hard to kind of speak because us as your friends, we know a lot of the negative that happened with you guys. I'm able to acknowledge the positive that happened with you guys.
But a lot of people thought I shouldn't have grieved.
You shouldn't have grieved.
They thought I should have been like celebrating. I was like, are you guys okay? Is everybody okay?
Like y'all don't have two kids together. Y'all have two kids together. Y'all been together since y'all was children, and now y'all been together as adult. You have a 1-year-old son by him and a teenage daughter, and you think I'm not supposed to be grieving? No. But that's why it might be better for you to go to somebody who's like neutral, who don't know you guys, and you can just walk in and tell your story and give it to them, and they let you navigate through that.
But friend, do sometimes a therapist be judgmental? Because I feel like sometimes sometimes they be judgmental.
I'm gonna say this: you gotta find who works for you. Yeah. I can't comment on everybody because I'm the therapist that I feel like sometimes I walk in rooms and it's people, they just be like, so miss, what you want me to do? Should I leave him? And I'll be looking at them like, in my head, I'm like, I can't even figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. You want me to tell you about your man? But I try to be as neutral as possible. But we're human. We all have, obviously, I'm not going to sit here and say they're not analyzing you in their head because they are, right? But I think you need to find who works for you. I think you need to find what's best for you. And outside of therapy, I'm glad that you got coping skills. You look better. I see you. You feel like, to me, you feel better. Your energy feel better. Your kids is happy. Yeah. Your kids is happy with life. And that's something that we don't always acknowledge. And you've been through, like I said, you've been through a lot of trials and tribulations throughout your life. And you've been able to like get through them. I don't want to say that you knocked them down because no, you got through them. That's exactly what you did.
I think like that's my other piece of advice to women and moms who are like going through this is like, do what works for you.
Yeah.
Like people are going to tell you that you need to go to therapy. You need to this, you need to that, do what works for you. Like I'm such a overthinker. Like I'm just like, yeah, this therapy thing is not working, but I need to find something that does work right now. And I'm like, for me, it's like, I believe in God. Like, I believe that there is this higher power who does things and protects us. And, you know, there are things that we can't explain that happen in this world. And it's because
Yeah.
obviously there's somebody above us. And I'm like, you know, I want to get closer to like what the words say for you. Like
Yeah.
what are you supposed to do? How are you supposed to
Yeah.
kind of live your life? And I'm very spiritual, so I think like I don't know that I believe in like one religion, but there are a lot of religious beliefs that I do believe
So pieces
in.
from each one.
Yep, and
Okay.
fasting is one of them. So like last year, when I fasted for Ramadan, it was like my mind, like I needed that fast so bad. Like
Yeah.
I was doing bad, friend. Like I was outside every day. Like at this point, I'm at the peak of my grief. Like drinking, like just outside trying to just take my mind off of
Yeah.
everything. And you know, when Ramadan comes, you don't drink, you fast. Like you don't drink to get drunk. Like you really just fast. And when you're hungry, that's the most clear your mind will ever
I can't
be, because
Yeah.
you don't even have the energy
to think about
to
stuff
think about
that don't
stuff
matter.
that don't matter, and or like deal with people that don't matter, because it's like I'm actually really hungry. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the soft approach to this. And me approaching Ramadan that way last year was like the first break in, like me talking to like I joke like when all my people meet in my head. When my people met, it was like, you are not okay.
Yeah.
Like you are not okay. So stop saying that you're okay,
Because you're not.
because you're not, and actually start to do some things that are gonna help you to be okay. And after Ramadan, I continued like getting up at 5 a.m. just to have, that's my only peaceful hour.
Because
like,
then the three
kids
is
are
up.
asleep, everybody's asleep, no one needs me, no mommy, no phone, nothing. Just like my hour to, I'm like, well, okay, I want to read more during this time. Okay, I start just like reading little scriptures, reading little things from the Bible, just to kind of like boost my like my spirits. I hit up one of my friends who is like deep in her Bible, and I'm just like, you know, I'm thinking about this. I'm like going down this spiritual journey, and she said start with Psalms. She's like, if you like, that is like, that's gonna bring your spirits back up, and that's where I started. And I just downloaded the Bible app, and I just started like reading the book of Psalms. And like I followed this plan that had like the scripture and then like an explanation that kind of went along with it.
Wow, you might have to share that with me.
And every morning I woke up and just reading, and the amount of hope that it just brought back into me. I'm just like, yeah, I got to start living a little bit more like this, and just kind of being slow to speak, being calm, like listening more than I speak now, and being able to like take that step back and reflect. That really helped put my mental health like back into a good space, because I had to reflect like, you cannot continue this way.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah. And now you're in a good space, and you got a new business.
Much better space.
You got a business venture coming up. So tell us about your new business venture and what you got going on, and the name and everything.
Yeah, so I think Straight A's Kids Club is my new baby, and I think it was really birthed out of me coming into a better space. So I've been thinking about this kids club for a long time. I've been wanting to do this, so I am really into after school, because after school is where kids get into a lot that they don't actually need to get into. And if you could provide some good after school programming for kids, with like homework, tutoring, enrichment activities, you can really help kids, like put them on a path to say like, okay, I like art, or I like music, or I like basketball, or I like swimming. And it's something that I've just been wanting to run this little club for a while. I also think like our Black and brown kids don't have these clubs where it's like, I get to be an exclusive member. Like when you go to white neighborhoods, there are all these social clubs that kids are a part of that teach them different things. And their parents, they pay for it, and they they're with those people probably more than they're with their actual their actual parents.
Right.
But our kids just don't have that opportunity, and it's something that I've been wanting to do for a while. But it was like every time I went to do it, it was like I was scared or like something happened, and
Yeah.
and now I attribute it to like again when you actually like start going into your Bible, you have to be ready for certain things. And if you yourself are not ready, the thing will never come to you. Like it'll be like right here, you'll be like able to see it, but you'll never be able to like grab it and take it because you yourself were not ready. And like I said, I wasn't ready. Like I was again distraught with this grief, not knowing what to do, turning to going outside, going out, and I wasn't ready. Like how was I gonna run any type of anything?
Club, right? Yeah, anything. Be anything to anybody.
Be anything to anybody, and I couldn't even be something to myself. And it was like once my mind started to clear, I was like, no, I'm gonna do this. And first I started my Mamiana group, and the support and like that I received from that, I was like, no, I have to get this club off the ground because the people want things to do with their kids. The moms want to go out all together. Like if we're all out and we're making like a kid outing, a fun outing, like
and
now,
the support there. Yeah.
Now we're building the village because we could talk about that at a different time, but in our generation, the village is gone. Like there's no village.
We gotta have a part 2 because we'll be here all day with that.
Everybody is so for themselves that the village is actually gone. So it was like, oh no, I'm actually creating like this village again for people who join this group.
And how much is the membership fee?
So that led me to be like, I'm gonna launch it.
Okay.
I'm gonna launch Straight A's. I'm gonna do it. And Straight A's has like a double meaning. So the kids are all A's. And then obviously you want straight A's for your kids. And then getting to fees, that's something that I have just been going back and forth about because I think also what I'm finding is like our community, we don't want to pay for things for our kids.
Yeah.
And it's like.
But the hair nails is beat down.
Down to the ground. And the bottles, they sold out in the club. The sections, they're sold out. I can't even
pay for your kids. Please pay for your kids to go to their own club.
The section, like when we go to the club, we don't go without
so now
buying
it's a chance for your kids to go to their club.
And I go back. I've been back and forth about like pricing and all of these things because it's just like I want to be supportive and I want to be understanding to the community. But also, we can't run a program for free.
Yeah.
And inflation is up. Have y'all seen eggs? Like,
yo, you is what I cannot. I can't.
It's up.
Yeah.
So I did settle on a $25 membership, a registration fee.
Okay.
And then I put out 3 different tiers of membership. So I thought long and hard about this because I was like, I just don't want there to be one tier and then somebody say, oh, I can't afford this. Right. So I started a membership tier at $25 a week, one at $50, one at $75, and they're named after each of the kids, and you get different things based on what tier you buy into. So at the most basic tier, which is the Avon package, only because he's the youngest, because the kids are arguing about this at home.
Okay.
So he's the basic package. You get the 2 hours of programming, and you get homework help. So I want people to understand that number, right? You can't even find a babysitter for $25 for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So you're getting 2 hours of babysitting after school, and your child is getting help with their homework.
And I'm going to do something today. I want to sponsor 2 kids. Just because I feel like I really believe in your mission. And then I was even telling my sister, I was like, I wish we lived in Jersey so we could send my nephew because he needs to go. He needs some people to help him. No, I'm serious. Yay. I want to sponsor 2 kids because I really believe in what you're doing. And I tell you all the time, I be like, don't go too far because when I have kids, I need them to be near you. And we don't have a lot of educators that care. And like for you to create like an after school program, oh my God, it's amazing. Yeah.
And then the next 2 memberships up, they go up in price. And then you add on enrichment.
Okay.
You get one enrichment with the second one, which is right now we have cheer, we have basketball, we'll have swimming in the summer. I have somebody interested in doing track. I just had a teacher reach out to me yesterday who has a friend who do like murals and things, and he's interested in doing like an art session for the kids.
Right.
So like when I say the support has been real,
Yep.
it really has been real, and I've really just seen people come out and like, even if they don't live in Jersey, it's like, okay, I want to sponsor a kid. Like,
Yeah.
how much will it be for a year, so that they could just pay a child's whole year membership, you know? Or we've had some events so far, like I'm buying, like my friend's mom bought like 2 tickets and was just like, give them to any kid, like who needs to come. So the support has been real.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I want to keep this going. I definitely want to we're going to have, like I said, I want you to be able to check them out. We're going to put it in the bio so that they could be able to reach you and get next to you and connect with you for their 2 kids. We talked about a lot. I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud. You did so well today. But yeah, on this part of our segment, before we leave out, we have something called Dear Younger Self. So in this part of our segment, you think about all the things that you've been through and something that you would just want your younger self to know. I want you to speak to your younger self. It's not you speaking to me, it's you speaking to your younger self. So I want you to look into the camera and you'll say, Dear Younger Self, and you go from there. Go ahead.
Okay. Dear younger self. This is crazy. I think my friend actually said this the other day, but I think I would tell my younger self, you are exactly who you think you are.
I know that's right. I love that. All right. Well, I thank you again for coming, friend. I appreciate you so much. And I thank you guys for watching. Again, this is Dr. Felder on Line 1, and I appreciate you for tuning in. And we're out. I know we went over.